Hello and welcome to the Den Dialogues. I'm your host, Ryan Martin. I want to share with you this great podcast I had with Martin Amini a little over a week and a half ago. And we shot the intro as well. And then very suddenly, my chief of operations here at the Den and great friend, Ron W.S, passed away suddenly in an accident. I know Ron would want me to continue with these podcasts and get this out. So I'd like to dedicate this podcast to Ron W.S. If you know the Den and you've been here, you know Ron. He gave these fountain pens to our performers, and he gave one to Martin Amini. So Martin, I hope you're using this, and I'm glad you got to meet him. So without further ado, please enjoy this episode with Martin Amini, dedicated to my pal, Ron W.S. Enjoy. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Den Dialogues. I'm your host, Ryan Martin, and I just had a really great conversation with Martin Amini. He's in town at the Den doing 6 shows. I feel like we could have easily added a 7th if we had had space. He's on fire right now. In conversation, I found him super open, willing to share. We got into a lot of different things like his immigrant parents, his comedy club, which we share that in common because I own a venue. He owns a venue. It's called Room 808 in Washington, D.C., and it's one of the hottest comedy clubs in Washington, D.C. right now. I can't wait to check it out. Please, if you're coming through D.C., go check that out. Also, all his tour dates are at martinamini.com. The experience of his show live is really cool. It's a mixture of good comedy, crowd work, spontaneity, and then he brings people up on stage and becomes a matchmaker. I mean, he's literally like bringing people together and having them, compete to win each other's hearts and then go on a date. And it makes this super cool community. It's a fun time, and it's a very unique experience. So check him out live. Please like and subscribe if you're getting something out of this. We're going for 500 subscribers. We've got 450 right now. That's the goal. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but every single one of you means a lot to us. So I appreciate you spending the time checking us out. And without further ado, please enjoy this conversation with Martin Amini. Martin!
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? I'm so happy that you decided to sit down with me and fucking 6 shows.
I know,
sold
bro.
out.
I know,
6 shows.
I know. Well, I'm happy we met. You seem like a cool dude. Whenever I'm on tour and I get to meet someone cool, I get excited to have conversations like this.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you. And thanks we just did a tour of the building. It's really cool to hear about your place, Room 808.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. Yeah, no, this was, as soon as we walked in, this is my first time performing at the Den Theater, your spot, and it's also my first time just like getting a walkthrough, and it's like it's so big and it's so like beautiful, and it has this like it just has this like feeling, and it's something that I would love to, it's inspiring. I mean, I as a venue owner, someone who's opened up my own comedy club, I'm like, dude, how can we create an energy like this?
Yeah, I noticed, you seem to be big in your shows on like vibe and instinct and like feeling out vibe. I mean, you do it with like it's definitely infused in your comedy, but it's really interesting to hear about when you recognize space has such an important vibe for space, because space is like it influences the experience of somebody from the beginning.
Right.
I wasn't sure. I'm a nerd about that kind of stuff.
So. The room we're in is called is it the Heath? The big
Heath
room?
Main stage is the big
So
room.
I don't know if it was intentional, but like when I'm sitting on a stool on stage, like I feel like the entire audience visually can see, like I have people to my right, to my left, and in front. And I think like there's no bad seat in the audience, which I love. And then also like if I'm talking to someone, I feel like everyone can see who I'm talking to, which is so hard in comedy, like to have a room that's designed like that.
That's a good point.
And so immediately I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a fun weekend, because typically if I'm talking to someone in the back can't see, but in this case, like the way it's set up, like people can they know, we could see that funny looking guy or the guy wearing the red outfit or whatever, and so
Right.
all of a sudden everyone now is engaged in what's happening, and that's like that's all.
Yeah, because I can see like if you're like sitting in a balcony, let's say you're doing a big room or whatever, and like you're talking to a guy up here, and this person up here like can't see down.
No,
like they don't even know, they don't have any reference point at all. Whereas, you almost need a room where the audience can engage with each other as well as.
Yeah. So all that to say, I love your room.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, it's been fun. We got 3 more shows, so it's been good so far.
Yeah, so
I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, no, I know. We don't want to jinx it.
I feel like I jinxed it last night.
Yeah, it was like, what were we saying before you went on the last show? We were like, damn, these audiences are
wholesome, attentive. They're
respectful.
Respectful. My community is great, And then the late show, right? And then I go those. The guy was like, yeah. I was like, what do you do? I was like, I work on diesel cars. And I go, okay. And he goes, I was like, that's cool. He goes, no, it's not. I go, why not? He's like, it's a terrible job. I'm like, well, what did you want to do? He's like, I wanted to be a drug dealer.
I remember that.
I go, okay. What kind of drug dealer? Like, probably cocaine. I'm like, yeah, that's probably good profit margins, I guess. And then, it was a funny, full of characters.
Totally, full of characters. I mean,
just being authentically themselves, like, not even scared to say anything.
I know. The funny thing about that guy was, like, it wasn't. Normally somebody would be like half joking about it, right? He was like dead serious.
Yeah, he was dead serious. Yeah,
he was like he was bummed out about being a mechanic.
I was like, what inspired you to be a drug dealer? He goes, Narcos. I go,
Right, it was like the TV show, right? Where
he's
like,
he's like watching it at home, and then he's like after a long day of work, and he's like looking at his wife like, you see, because if you would have let me achieve my dreams, this could have been us. We could have been living in Colombia and Cartagena with a nice house. But no, I have to live in Cicero.
It's so crazy, man. He actually thought that, like, that would be good. Like, it wouldn't be dangerous.
I will say probably my favorite part of the interaction was just like him just being himself and just like having a candid, like, like just opening up to me where he's just sharing. It's almost like we've known each other for a long time. Yeah. So that's kind of like, I was like, you know what, like to his credit, like he was just, he was being himself, and we had a funny moment, and I was like, for a Friday late show, that's to be expected. Yeah. There's going to be some characters. Yeah.
And then you were dealing with the other side.
Yep. The other side was just a group of misfits, just not the most wholesome guys, but, it's just, but it's okay. I think, like, when guys roll in packs, like, of more than 6 people, like, just all guys, I think, like, what happens is just, like, you're with your boys, it's a lot of testosterone, masculinity, and I think no one's going to, like, on the other side, when I was talking, he was with his wife, so it's like he's gonna just he's chill. But I think when you're with your guys, there's like this urge to be like to say something crazy or like I'm not afraid or whatever.
Make something happen. It's adventure, like be adventurous.
Yeah.
I know. We all know that feeling.
Let's create let's have a moment. I'm like, nah, let's not.
Yeah, they were trying to make that, and that's what I was like. That's where we got here with this was like influence, vibe, instinct on stage. And like I know, like in that moment, you saw both sides. You worked with them a little bit, but then you realized, like, okay, like I can't let these guys take control of the show.
Right.
And like you were even like, man, I can't remember what you said, but you did it perfectly. You did it where you were like, you basically were like, fuck these people. Like I'm going over here. And then you took the stool up front, and then you locked into. Like that girl that
her name was Malaysia, and she just seemed like someone that would garner like a lot of attention from men that would like, oh, let me come up for her and see if I can take her out on a date or something like that. And I was trying to create like an environment where it was like wholesome or like at least genuine. Mm-hmm. And we did have some men that came on stage. I was correct. But unfortunately, what came out of their mouth was just how can I frame this? It just was it was pretty dumb, man. What they said. One guy said she was brutally on. They were all brutally honest. I was like, man, for a late show that's pretty drunk, like everyone's just being so vulnerable right now. Like,
I know that's pretty amazing. What I've seen consistently with your shows. I mean, it does take balls to get up there. It takes a little courage.
Yeah.
but yeah,
she opened up about being raised by a single father and like how she's looking for someone who's family oriented and someone that embraces her father, and like what activity would you do with my father, or how would you bond with him? And that's where the first guy really messed up, because he was like, oh, I would probably ask him how he disciplined you and bond over that. I'm like, what type of freaky stuff is... What a crazy thing to say.
I was telling your wife, Charlene, man, I was like, I looked over, she was by the camera, and I was just like, I was cringing. I was just like, please, which makes for great entertainment,
yeah.
But I was like in my seat, and I was feeling for the guy.
I was surprised he didn't get booed off, because typically what happens at the shows when someone does something like, or says something like that, and it rubs the crowd the wrong way, we'll hit them with the fuera, which is like, it's an ode to a show from the 90s on Univision, on Telemundo, called Sábado Gigante. And it was a famous show where people would come on. It was like a variety show. People would sing and win prizes, kind of like The Price is Right mixed with like American Idol. And when someone would sing and they were bad, a guy, El Chacal, he's like a tiny 5-foot guy. I don't know what's the politically correct term. But he comes out with the trumpet. He's in an all-black outfit, face is covered, and he starts playing the trumpet. And that was your note to, like, everyone would yell, fuera, which is, like, get off the stage. So
he was a Brad Williams.
That's right. There you go.
Brad would be, I think Brad would be cool. I hope Brad would be cool with me making that joke about it.
And so now it's kind of in a crazy way, this show from the 90s, Sábado Gigante, that moment, fuera, has now come back to my show. Like, it's like, people now...
Wait, so he comes out on stage. Sorry, I disrupted us.
Plays the trumpet.
Okay.
And that's like when you're basically bombing.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, fuera! The whole audience. So that's what sometimes... You might see it tonight. Like, if someone really messes up, everyone yells fuera. Which is basically get off the stage. Yeah. And I'm surprised that we didn't have that moment for the beard guy.
Yeah, he was definitely making
cringy.
Me... Yeah, he was a little cringy. I mean, look, what was great about it was that he went through that, and man, he still seemed like he was having a good time. He got back to his seat, high-fived his, the person he was sitting with, and so it was still cool.
It's an interactive experience. It's fun, It's a fun activity to do, basically. Like, you're out having a good time.
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit, because you started out as like straight up comedian. Everybody hates that question, right? How did you get started in comedy? But give us a little bit of like how this started, and then eventually I kind of want to understand how it phased into you incorporating this somewhat new element of the matchmaking.
No, it's a good question. I mean, to be fair, it is a little bit unique how I got into it, because I was a camera guy for my cousin who was a comedian. And so when I started working with him in 2010, his name is Max Amini. So he's a pretty well-known comedian internationally. He does like theaters in big arenas in some places. And so I was a young kid in his 20s. I started working for him and started like filming him, and he took me on tour in 2012, and we went to like London, Toronto, Dubai, and Australia. And I'm just like this young kid, 22, 23, same age as like my camera guy. And I remember like, just going to all these places internationally, and
that must have been exciting.
Just thinking to myself like, wow, I didn't even know like, comedy could take you, like you could have a career like this. And, you watch it on TV, but you never think of it. And I think because he was my cousin, I was like, wow, like this is a reality. And I remember watching him on stage and just thinking like, I'm funny too. I could tell some jokes.
Yeah.
And that's where the seed was planted. And then I moved back to Washington, D.C. in 2012. And that's when I started my open mic journey, And I would say maybe like 10 years later, I started blowing up on social media. And that's when I got some momentum, moved back to L.A., got an agent. And now, I've been on tour, I would say, ever since.
So what made you persist through the hard times, it's easy to get started on something like that, right? It's hard once you start going through the times when the open mics are maybe bombing, or like you're not making any money. What was it that made you stick with it?
Honestly, like, in the beginning, I think it was just ego of not trying to fail, the ego of like, being wrong. Like I made the wrong choice. I didn't want, it started off like that, proving people wrong also. But I realized later that that's a very unhealthy thing to motivate you whenever times are tough, because, I think you could bleed into other areas of your life that, you should probably work on. So I think
How so? Like, that's interesting that you were like aware of that, but how does that bleed into other areas? So is it so?
Well, stand-up comedy in general is an ego-driven profession. It's like if you think about it, you're just like, my thoughts are more important than your thoughts, so everyone just pay attention to what I'm saying. And I think that's born in the open mic, where like you're fighting against people watching television, you're fighting against like, sporting events, you're fighting against people having conversations in the back, not paying attention. They're not even there in the room for comedy, and you're like, hey, I'm trying to chase my dream, like look at me, like I'm funny, like, and you have to almost like trick them into watching and then keep their engagement. And that's like takes a certain form of narcissism and ego to like really, win them over. And, once you gain some experience and skill sets, you can, start getting booked on professional showcases. But yeah, the open mic system is a very primal experience. It's not a healthy environment for someone who wants to be
it's almost like you're clawing your way with any kind of tools you can get to like get attention and
any type of trait. Everyone has different skill sets. So it could be charm, quirkiness, funny one-liners, story,
roasting, and that's where you kind of got into it first, right?
I think the roasting actually spawned from like just childhood experiences of like being at the bus stop, cultural stuff of like that's kind of like I'm a '90s baby, so like I think like that environment was just so like it was normal. That's why I was so shocked when I would go viral for these type of things, and I'm like, dude, this is what we used to do as friends. Like this is just it's a neighborhood thing. And I guess maybe at that time period when it was starting to blow up on the internet, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, that like no one's seen it. It hasn't been that widespread or on social media. And I thought it was interesting, but it's it's a great way to reach people. And it's like getting back to the ego thing. I just think like you can't rely on that forever. There needs to be some type of pivot. Like, okay, I should probably work on myself once you reach a certain level of like stability. Because I think like you're clawing not just at like trying to make it, but like you're looking at just trying to pay your bills with your art. I think that's like the big thing when you're starting out. Like, how can I pay my bills with my art? And then once you start paying your bills, like, all right, how do I not become a terrible person?
Right. right. And then you got to start kicking in, working on yourself.
And then you get to a point where you're not a terrible person, but then maybe like, hey, maybe I deserve love. Maybe I should find a partner.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, am I a good partner? And then like, oh, damn, I got more work to do. So it's like this constant,
Yeah, but that's a lot of self-awareness, man. That really is. Like that's I don't think a lot of people consciously go step by step like that. Level up like that. So that's cool that, because everybody has to fight ego. And most people, I don't even think, look inward or know what it is or where it's affecting them.
Yeah, I think 2025, we are at the height of ego drives a lot of business. It drives a lot of cultural it's how the news is just, we're getting fed like the worst of the worst, and I think there's not a lot of like positive energy being put out. And I think one of the things that helps me the most is having references of like what I like and what I don't like, and taking the good things and like, I like what this guy does, but I don't like necessarily, I don't agree or align myself with these things. So let me take the positive and then make sure I don't do those negative things. And there's people 10 years older than me, 5 years older than me that I've always had as references to be like, oh, okay, like this person's, in their 40s and they're not married or they don't have kids or they don't have a family and they look successful and famous, but like that must kind of like, I don't know if I want that much fame and success without having a family.
Right.
I would love to have a family.
That's a big trade. That's a big sacrifice,
Yeah,
depending on if that's what you want.
Exactly. That's it. Everyone has their own way of like living, but I know for me, it's like I would love a family. I would love to, I have a wife now, and that was something that I always thought of having at one point in my life. But I did find myself like, dude, you're in your 30s now. Like you're paying your bills with comedy. Like that was great. That's great, but are you ready to be married? Like, is this something that you're ready to do, and could you handle that? And yeah, it's took some work, but I think like now being married, I can honestly say like marriage is like the best.
Yeah.
I think it trumps like marriage. I think to me it's like if you can have a good marriage, like you're able to make everything else.
You have a partner. You got like a teammate. You got someone who can propel you forward, can like ease some of your anxieties as you face obstacles.
Yeah.
You can help them with those things. I think it's like anything though, right? A healthy relationship does those things.
I think for me growing up, also like relationships, marriages wasn't talked about a lot. It wasn't a lot of like, a lot of my references came from like sitcoms, Disney movies, it was very romanticized, but like just the reality of it, in my immediate circle, I was like, there's no positive references within my family, my friend's family. Like I had very little to pull from. So, which is, unfortunately, I feel like in certain communities, like, Latin community or minorities, I think there's a lot of obstacles to overcome moving to America, and then trying to also have like communication could be an issue when there's language barriers too. There's like all types of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, this is all things I've always thought of, like recently too in my 30s. Just like how do I, have a healthy relationship?
Yeah, that's cool, man. And it's like the thing I keep thinking of is like that's just an indicator of like a lot of self-awareness, which seems to be like helping you in business, helping you kind of like level up in a lot of ways.
Troubleshoot problems,
critical thinking,
keeping your cool, not freaking out. If your partner is not happy or pleased with situation, just how do you just learning how to be like a leader, and I think sometimes leaders have to learn to listen and not always delegate. Sometimes you got to receive a lot of notes.
Listening is hard.
Listening is not easy. One of the
hardest things, man. Because we all think we just have we're eager, we're excited, we have thoughts, we have ideas, and you just want to like get them out. But I mean, you can learn so much from.
Well, you have a positive. You're the owner of a venue. You do. You have your daughter, your wife.
Yeah. I've got a son too.
How do you juggle? How do you juggle everything?
It's hard, man. I mean, like.
How do you juggle your family life and then your your ambition with your career and your business? Like, what's the Venn diagram for you? Because everyone also has like their own. Because I've come to the realization recently that like, because I have super famous friends, and I love that for them. I love that they found their success. But I also recently come to the realization it's like, I don't need to be the most. Sometimes the career can take a beat for the sake of like balance and like sustainability of like healthy relationships. Because I think for a healthy relationship, you have to give a little. You have to, there's compromises, and you have to give a little. You have to like kind of like water it. I think.
Dude, I mean, look, you have a whole. Seems like, and I don't know what it actually is in your life, but I mean, it seems like you have a built-in structure, a system. I mean, like from what you're telling me, it's like you prioritize family actually.
Yeah.
Like it's like you and that's the only way you can make those kinds of decisions.
I think it comes from a place where they were so neglected in my open mic years. That all my energy went into like comedy for like 10 years. And just this past 12 months, I've been fortunate enough to make a certain amount of money where it's not survival anymore. It's flourishing where now I can.
You got a grip.
I'm investing in things that are going to be passed down generationally, and so like, but then like with that said, like, am I spending time with the people I want to give? Like, what's the point of that if you're not even, attending birthday parties or hosting like, dinners for people to just enjoy.
So I've thought about this a lot. Like I've definitely sacrificed a lot. Like just running a venue and not having the or building a business from the ground up. Even though compared to some, it's tiny. It's nothing.
Right.
But like I've definitely it hit me later that I sacrificed like friendships, a lot of friendships, like relationships, definitely, like being a part of my community, just nights where I was like grinding it out in business or thinking about this or just not having the emotional energy or not even the desire to like foster these other things. And I think that whenever you figure it out, so like I'm trying to figure it out still now, I'm 46, my kids are both teenagers now.
Right.
It's moving fast. And that's one of the things that's hitting me this year so hard is that this is not going to stop, man. It's going to fly. And you have to, like, you don't have to give it the effort. You can just let life happen, and you're gonna miss some. You can miss some things. Maybe and it's all okay in the end too. I personally don't want that, man. I actually want to go. What do I want? Where can I serve best the people that I'm affecting? How can I feel good at the end? Just even if it's like, what is it? To ask myself that. What are my priorities? Is it family? Like, what's important? What trumps everything else? And like, and then why do I put forth the energy? So I think about this a lot. If you don't have an organizational system or that built in, eventually you will either create one. I think you can. I think people can.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. The misconception of like you can't have everything. There is a way, but you just have to learn to prioritize what is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I said, I have friends that their career is everything, and that's okay. If they sleep good at night, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep good at night if all I had was 1 million social media followers, millions of dollars, and I'm like, just wake up to an empty house, big house, and I would just be like, what's the point?
Totally.
What is the point?
No, that's so great that you know that, because like for me too, like I brought my daughter the other day. You guys met her.
it was really. I thought my wife and I we were like, we took a note of that, and we're like, wow, like that's gonna be us. Like we're gonna have our kids like at the venue too, like and probably make him put them to work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but it's like I've been through long periods where they haven't been here a lot, and I'm like, and I think it has been because I'm consciously now thinking, my daughter, I cannot believe she's 16, and I think this happens to everybody where they're like, you reach a point where you're just like, man, for me, I don't know about anybody else, but like for me, I want to give her everything I can in terms of like my presence. Like it's not that that'll be valuable to her. It'll be her choice whether that's valuable to her or not. But like, I just don't want to miss it. You know what I mean? And I want to, like, that is like where I don't know if I prioritize that as much as I should have. And now I'm starting to figure it out. And I think some people figure things out later. Yeah. And
well, that's exciting for you. I think that's great. Like, I think it's cool I enjoy these convos probably more than even like talking about comedy, because I've already I feel like I've achieved everything I kind of wanted to do in comedy. Like, I feel like the only thing left I would like to accomplish is probably like put out like a classic special, which is very hard to execute, but it's like it's not impossible. It can be done.
What do you mean by classic?
Something that can like hold up over time.
Yeah.
I have one out there, but it just wasn't filmed like the best. It's called Son of an Ice Cream Man. I filmed it at the Kennedy Center.
Yeah, the Kennedy Center.
And we put it out the same month, March 2020. We filmed it in January, and it came out in March, and we went into lockdown like a week later. But we just didn't have like a major crazy budget to film it. But it's still like, to me, like, it was filmed at a time where I was just doing stand-up every night. I was like living at my parents' house. It was like I had momentum in the city. Everything was like trending the right way, and it was like my peak. Like, I can never recreate that time of my life where like a lot of my friends were still doing comedy and were alive. A lot of them passed, and so like that was like a capsule where like, whoa, like
young. Some of your friends passed away?
Yeah, a lot of my friends. I've lost 13 friends in comedy. To like, yeah. That's another thing that I don't think gets talked about a lot. I mean, I feel like people know there's like a dark side to comedy, but
Was it just like drug use?
I would say it's a mix of like
Yeah.
drug use, mental health. I mean, one of them was a Chicago comic recently, Ken Flores. You know,
Yep.
he
Yeah.
passed. Dylan Meyer, a DC local comic that was one of my close. He was like in my group, my class. Passed away to bad. I would say maybe I don't know the toxicologists what they said, but it looks like a fentanyl situation.
Ken, man, I mean, what a talent, you know?
Yeah,
He'd come through here a couple times. We were hoping to bring him back to headline. He'd come for some other people, and just great guy.
Yeah. I mean, and he had a presence. Like he walked into
talented, man. What a like
raw talent. Just raw. Very like just. For someone where he was at in his career, we met via social media. Roommate Away was his first place he headlined outside of Chicago.
No
area.
way.
Yeah, so he drove to Washington D.C. to headline, killed it, and I took him on the road. We did Indianapolis together. We did Texas, Dallas, and I flew him out to L.A. for the. He opened for me at the Comedy Store. His first time performing at the Comedy Store, and so. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that stories. I haven't really spoke about it publicly, but
sorry,
I met him. I met him right. I met him right when he was kind of like, but he was going through. It was a lot going on, and again, it goes back to like, choices. It goes back to what you want to prioritize, and just like having some balance. I think like and having being surrounded by the right people. I think it's a tough business overall, and that's why I think like I value at this point like good like morals and standards, and not prioritizing fame and ticket sales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's almost like from what you're telling me, it's like there's a lot of traps in the business, right? And there are in a lot of businesses, probably politics, like what a lot you can, or maybe all of them,
Mm-hmm.
where once you get. When you're pushing for it, but particularly this business, like because it's so, like you said, ego driven.
Yeah.
People, you're asking people to watch you and focus on you, and if you don't get that, you're constantly gauging how people are perceiving you and how many ticket sales do you have.
Yeah, you're constantly being compared to other comics. From your content, your ticket sales. Everything, surface level stuff, your aesthetics, like what they do, and it's like, again, like I think it feeds into like the ego too
Mm-hmm.
much, and it's like, if you were to say all these things when you started, like, man, we're just trying to tell jokes. It's about the art, it's not, and somehow the industry and I think social media just fuels this like weird, like, who's the biggest or who's doing the most, and it's like, it's not, I mean,
yeah,
that's not for me anymore. I mean, I totally like, I'm so happy with what I have, and that's why like I put more energy into my venue now, because I feel like it makes me so happy that I can create like a community of and pour my like the money I earn from my tour into my like venue, because I'm like, it's like what I want to water now. It's like my new flower. I'm like, this is like my legacy. Like, touring is like I love it. It's what I love to do. I mean, it's my art, it's my career, but the venue is my new passion. It's like, I just want people to be happy in my hometown where I started open mics, and now it could be like, because of the support I got from my city at the open mics and doing local spots, I was able to go on a national, international tour, sell out shows, and earn a certain amount of money, where now I can buy buildings and, earn like, buy real estate and make it the dopest spot in the country because of the support.
You're setting yourself up well, man. If you finish, you're under construction with your space, you've already got. It's funny. I was asking ChatGPT about your space, Room 808, and I was like, "Can you tell me about this?" And ChatGPT was like, "It's one of the best comedy clubs in DC."
Dude,
that's how ChatGPT described it to me. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Like,
dude, it's the real deal. But that's like, I don't know. I come from a generation where it's like being the real deal is important. Like being like being a real comic is important. Being a real business person, like, and not like cutting corners and not trying to like trick people, and which is so prevalent today. I feel like there's so much like fluff now, even from like content. Like, what am I reading? What am I watching? What's the point of this? You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, it's top down. You know, like if we're being encouraged by our leaders to, you know, get ahead in, you know, you just do whatever to win, right? Then that is gonna, you know, that's gonna trickle down to the whole, like, a society's kind of way of being, or it can, unless we like realize, which I think we are. I think we're realizing, we're having this conversation where I'm like, this is way more fun to be like straight up, like,
yeah, I think like avoiding clickbait topics.
Yeah,
I think like maybe it doesn't help with the algorithm, but maybe in 5-10 years, this will have more value than, you know, someone just talking about a trending topic of this week.
right.
There's more legacy in this moment that over time. Like, there's more value.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I'm trying to put my energy into, like, what creates the most value,
Yeah.
like, for my time, you
Right.
know, and not trying to. I have zero ambition of selling tickets with this convo. Like, zero.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sell any tickets or try to like get any new. It's just more so like in
good.
5-10 years, like when people find out what I've done or what I've created or what has gone from like literally a time capsule of like talking about building, you know, Room 808 to like in 5-10 years, like, damn, like that's what happened. Like this is the week he had an architect come and try to figure out the, you know, how to put the, you know, permits together for that. Like that'll be so cool for me to watch.
It's great. I love it because I got a space and I know how it feels. And like one of the most rewarding things for me is it really is that feeling. Sometimes I'll walk downstairs, like yesterday when all the people from your show in the lobbies enjoying themselves, having a drink, standing in line to meet with you, get some merch.
So happy.
And I'm looking around and I'm seeing people sitting in the chairs or feeling the vibe, the lighting, everything. And I'm like, it makes me feel good. And then you know what's weird, it's like the stage, the room is kind of like if I were like a guitar maker or something, or a violin maker. Like I made the thing, and then someone comes, like a pro comes, and like they play it in a way that I'm like that's like, oh, it's new, like that works. Like, oh, they made it play. They made what I created.
I didn't know you could play that note. You know?
Like, oh, I didn't know that, but like, and they all, you know, and they bring something different, and that's how a venue feels. You know, it's like this living thing that carries the history of the people that are there in it, experiencing things in that energy. And everything. So man, I'm gonna come for sure to see.
Dude, I got your number. I'm gonna fly you out, bro. I might need your help actually, because I'm at an interesting time of my life where I don't have a lot of like a lot of my friends unfortunately passed away because of comedy. So I don't have a lot of close friends. A lot of my friends quit comedy, and I'm in this new chapter where I'm opening this venue, and I've had really cool conversations with venue owners across the country. Like, some of them really have like showed a lot of support. Like, hey man, if you need anything. But you're someone that I'm like, I genuinely value your opinion on like, what do you think? Because I think like you have a talent and a good eye for like spaces and just like knowing how to utilize space. And I think like just staging and like light fixtures, mood lighting, and just honestly maximizing the space, I think is something that like I'm very like eager to find out what we're gonna do at 808. Because
well, you're already on to it. You know, you're definitely like
I'm a big like, yo, collective, like get as many you know, just the ideas and I'm a big like, you know, I love having a team, like a collective, you know, different people's walks of life. You know, I grew up in a certain area. I have my own cultural influences, but like, you know, when you were like, oh, this is a Victorian era inspired, I'm like, that's the word. That's how you describe this this aesthetic, you know, because I was like, oh, London pub vibes. I've been to London. I'm like, you know, when I'm in London, I'm like, oh, like I like that green color. I like the green and gold. Like to me, that's a very traditional London pub, you know?
Right.
But, you know, yeah, Victorian era is probably the more accurate way of describing it. The lighting and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's some Victorian, you know, like, but I definitely like that, like, late 1800s kind of.
Yeah, me too.
Vibe,
I like that. I like that. Yeah, it feels like members only, or like a.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. I like it. I think it's
dark
very cool.
woods, like kind of, you know, cozy, inviting.
Cigar lounge, yeah.
Cigar lounge kind of thing, yeah.
That's what I'm looking. I mean, maybe because we're around, like, you know, maybe we have the same, I don't know, like, interests or vision for, like, because, yeah, I would love to have, like, my friends come, and, like, that's kind of like the experience I want to create. At this stage in my life, this is what I enjoy, and because I'm not, like, I don't go to nightclubs, so it's like this would be, like, where I would want to spend my evening.
Yeah, totally. Where you build your community there, you know, you stop into the club. I mean, like the Comedy Store was probably like that.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. You know? I'm sure it was. And it's so, you know, I think there's no problem. It's just, I think everyone's trying to catch lightning, and was it lightning in the bottle, like, again? Mm-hmm. And it's like, you can't, it's done.
Yeah.
Like, you can't recreate that ever.
No.
Like, and I think the idea of chasing it, it's like not cool.
No, you got to do your own thing. You got to do what you're gravitating towards, what you're like moving towards. I mean,
yeah, I have no doubts now, because, like, I think, shout out to the Comedy Store. I love the store. Like, I'm doing a show there, and I'm headlining a show in the main room in October, Hollywood Improv. Like, I've been at all the prestigious rooms, like, you know, but like I said, like the era of, like, the years that it was created by the innovators, a lot of them are gone. So, like, I think, like, the Bud Friedmans of the world, right? Like, the innovators, the people with the vision, like, they're not in the room they're not really there to, like, curate the energy. And I think that's what's missing. Like, the people with the passion to create the room is no longer a part of it, and that's what's missing. Like, and that's, I don't know. I think that's a big part of, like, having a strong venue. You need the presence of the person who's making it.
Absolutely. And who cares? Like, we were talking about this earlier a little bit, like, who's got a deep care for the space. Like, you know, once it gets bigger and starts, like, if you ever, like, build another space and another one, you're not going to be able to be at all of them. And then maybe you're touring a lot, and it's like, then unless you have one of those people at every space that actually has that heart and soul of it can't, like, something has to be the heart, the real soul, like, of it. It can spark other souls, so to speak. I mean, I definitely have people here. Ron Wells, who's been here since 2010. I hired him as an actor in one of the first plays we did here, and he's been here, and he's the one that gives all the fountain pens, and, like, he's definitely really part. Cool. So like you get the soul, like, the heart of it will definitely, you know, kind of infect other people, and they'll start. It'll become their dream as well.
The core of our team or staff at Room 808 were comics that were in my comedy class during the pandemic. I taught a comedy class because everything was shut down, and I needed to make some income. So I just went on Instagram, was like, whoever's interested in learning stand-up comedy, like, hit me up. And then within, like, 2 weeks, I had, like, 20 students. And out of that 20, I'd say, like, 4 of them are now, like, full-time, like, a part of the team at Room 808. And now they're, like, that was 5 years ago. So now they're, like, quote-unquote, like, veteran DC comics who they do spots at the DC Improv and other clubs. And, you know, I take them on tour with me sometimes. Yeah. And so, like, a couple of them opened for me last week in New York and New Jersey. And so, like, like, it's so cool to kind of bring up the next crop. And like you said, like, they care. It's a piece of, like, they were there from the beginning. And I think they do kind of, like, when they're there, I feel like that place is in good hands. Because, like, they saw it from the beginning, how much it's grown. Which I think is, like, so important. Like,
do you think your dad had a big influence on you becoming, like, wanting a space and, like, you know, going the venue route as well, being a sort of businessman himself? I mean, he's like, he ran his own business with the ice cream stands, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think there's definitely something to it. I think there's definitely something in my genes that's, like, entrepreneurial, business-minded, industrious. I think a lot of what he did inspired me, but a lot of things he didn't do inspired me also. Like, I feel like he took the ice cream truck business as far as he wanted, but he's another guy who's like, after he made a certain amount of money, he's like, I'm good. How much money do I really need,
Yeah.
you know? And as a kid, I always wanted him to go further. I'm like, come on, Dad, like, let's try to
Yeah.
be rich. Like, you know, let's
Right.
get out of...
You have ambition.
I was from a young age. Because my
Why?
dad... Because,
Why do you have ambition? Who influenced you that gave you that?
I don't know. It's something that I don't know. I can't pinpoint it. I just knew where I grew up. It was like more working class. You know, like my father driving an ice cream truck wasn't weird because like everyone else's dad like drove a taxi or like
Yeah.
it wasn't like.
So that didn't like shame you.
No, there was no shame.
But
But then my father, his route was like in like one of the richest neighborhoods, Potomac, Maryland, like in the country, and we would sell ice cream to rich people. And again, you'd see like people like, you know, kids like, you know, walking back to like buying ice cream, walking back into like their mansion. And I'd be like, wow, I would always like, wow, like what's it like going
Yeah.
back into that house, you know?
Yeah.
And like, what's that, like once they close the door, like what are they doing in that big house? Like, you know, like that's cool. So, I mean, and that was like my reality. And then we drive back to where we lived. And I was just like, man, like, you know, it just was weird. Like just seeing big houses as a kid and always being associated with like we're selling ice cream to them, but then we had to go back to our house, and then just kind of like what do you have to do to get a house like that?
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, yeah, Dad, like how do you? He's like, oh, you know, they're doctors and dentists. Like, wow, like okay, and just kind of like just seeing big houses as a kid, I was like, man, I want a big house, but then not knowing like what comes, you know, what it takes, and I think just having control of your destiny too. And not leaving it to chance.
But that's a unique thing, and I always kind of wonder at like, all right, so you see these houses, you know, and you get that spark, like I want that. But some people have this thing where it's like, whether they're delusional or not, they believe like,
Yeah.
I could fucking get that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking get that.
Yeah.
And there's other people that are just it won't even cross their mind. They don't have the inner confidence. It won't even cross their mind that it's even a possibility.
Right.
And I don't know where that comes from. Like, is it something that starts to like it's just luck? The right person infused you, whoever it was, maybe your kindergarten teacher infused you with some confidence or some one little interaction. One little interaction. You got in a wrestling match with some kid who you beat him easily, and you're like, I can do shit, you know, or something like, or what else is it? Like,
like what is the recipe for self-confidence or like, you know, motivation?
Just belief in yourself that you can actually do something. Because clearly that. So why do you think? Do you have any experiences that you think kind of gave that to you? That sort of like.
I think honestly, I mean, it's a combination of things. I mean, I think to be a comedian, to be an artist, to go against to go against what public deems like socially like normal or acceptable. I think you do have to have like something in you, like a screw loose maybe. And I do think I mean it could be hereditary, you know. I think just seeing my father not live up to his potential, in my opinion, definitely being surrounded and growing up in a neighborhood of people not living up to their potential, like just a very low morale area, unfortunately. Dope area, great area, but just a bunch of losers, you know? And
You just never believed they could climb out of that.
yeah, just
or
like
do
this
anything
social, like
more.
this whole notion of like, oh, we don't, you know, we're from here, so we're not supposed to go to college, or how dare us dream bigger. And I think that's just, I always was like, this is great, like, this is crazy. Like, I always felt like I didn't belong. I was like, I never felt a part of like the groupthink of that.
Yeah.
And
Was your mom like that at all? Did she ever have thoughts of like, hey, we could do more?
yeah, I think so. I just don't think she had the same. I feel like my dad was the one who had the ability to do it, and my mom had the heart to do it. And that's where I kind of like, I feel like I got my mom's like heart, but like, but my dad's like talent, like brains to do it.
Like your dad could have done it, but he's just chill.
He's
like,
chilling,
happy
bro.
with
He's
it.
a chilling. He's more of
like,
it's
no,
not
I'm good. This
yeah,
is
he's
good.
like,
It's a good life.
what's the point? Yeah, it's like, well, you know, because my dad came from money, and then my dad came from money, And then he moved to this country in 1979 during like the revolution. He's from Iran. His family was sending him checks of like $10,000 a week. He had BMWs, he had everything, and then he kind of just squandered everything. And then finally, like the money dried up, and he didn't know how to he grew up a rich kid and never had to really budget money or worry about anything. And I guess coming to America, he wasn't really prepared. Financial literacy. He just kind of and then he just lost everything and had to start driving an ice cream truck, start from the bottom, and worked his way up to having 6 trucks. Took care of his family, but never did anything bigger than that. And is it a coincidence that I have a cousin that's a huge comedian, I'm a huge comedian, in the same family with the same last name, with the same lineage of my cousin's dad drove an ice cream truck, my dad drove an ice cream truck, and my cousin's known for crowd work, I'm known for crowd work, it's maybe so. I think maybe it could be something in the genetics, something in the where our lineage of we did some some Wikipediaing, and I do have families that were the prime minister, and there was some really cool
some
stuff.
Ambition.
Yeah, there's people did things they built structural things, and they're known for. There's some structures that are still standing in Esfahan from the centuries ago that my family built and stuff.
Sweet.
And then we just found out it was because of my wife that she's we should do some. I'm like, what's the point? And then she's like, look, this is your great 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 grandfather. He's he worked for the Shah and he built these structures. I'm like, oh, maybe that's why I do things this way.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why I want to build a thing and own things and build things.
Yeah. So it's in the blood.
Do you have any stories? Have you ever done any wiki or looked up your family ancestry or something like that?
I haven't personally, but I definitely and maybe I will. But my mom's side is British, and my dad has a cool side too. Everybody has. I think some really should do it. They have some cool stuff, but.
There's something to it if you find out what your some of your relatives did. I'm sure with the acting too.
Yeah, no. I definitely know my grandma, my mom's side. They lived in England, and my grandfather was a general in the British Army.
Which
is cool.
His
name was Major General Stuart Headley Molesworth Batty.
Whoa.
I love it.
Which did he fight in any battles, wars? I'm sure.
I don't know. I got to start looking into it.
Dude, that's I would have a picture of that guy. I would have.
I do. I'll show you. I've got a picture. We'll go to.
You gotta blow it up.
I got a picture.
Put it on the wall, and then
I got an old school picture. Yeah. Nobody knows who it is.
Yeah.
But they're just because it's Victorian, and it's this guy standing there. And I always, because he passed away when I was young, but I always try to do is because I remember his voice.
Does he have a wiki page? I'm sure he does.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I feel like every general has a wiki page. I feel like.
But I do remember him. He had these bushy eyebrows, and he was like. Yeah, I remember him looking at my mom. We'd go visit. I have
you actually got to see him?
Yeah, this is my grandfather. So he was
wow.
He would look over and he'd be like, Fiona. My mom's name is Fiona. Fiona, what is that boy doing over there? Come here, boy. And I'd run over him. He'd be like, I just remember him looking at me and go, what are you doing? And then we were there for Christmas, and you would get sorry, I'm going on about this, but
it's dope.
I remember in our stocking we get fucking nuts and oranges.
Oh my God.
Ungrateful boy, you have a problem with this? Go clean the hedges.
So this was in England?
Yeah.
Wow.
I shouldn't make fun of my grandma. My aunt and my cousins over there will be mad at me. No, he was. No, I have his hat, and I have some stuff uniform stuff, and which I really cherish. And I want to learn more about him. But to answer your question,
that's probably where you get it from.
It's maybe there's
when you're talking to your staff, you're maybe you're channeling your inner general.
Yeah. No, I wish I had more general in me, probably, but no, that's
it's probably in there somewhere.
Probably,
maybe that's what you're hiding. Maybe that's what you're trying to suppress.
Dude,
you got some you gotta
let that out.
Yeah, you're too afraid to channel to tap into that. You're scared,
man.
Maybe you're scared, man.
It's true. That would be kind of cool to unleash, a fucking general.
Yeah, But I'm sure it comes with a price too. You know, maybe the generals aren't always liked by everyone.
That's there you go, man.
The general.
You
didn't even like your grandfather.
So no, I did. No. I love my grandfather, man. No, I'm very proud of that history. So I recommend people looking into that or just trying to connect with their history, whatever.
I think it helps with it's not necessarily. It just kind of like helps you navigate. Like, oh, okay, maybe there's some like correlations, or helps you like discover some interest that maybe you didn't even know you were good at, like things.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Totally. And there's a lot there. I could go on and on. I'm sure you could too. But dude, your dad is from Iran. So was that? I mean, there's been a lot of crazy, political stuff. Has that affected him right now?
Oh yeah, his wife's there right now, and they're in Esfahan, which is one of the cities that got hit. My father owns like a villa that is not that far away from one of the nuclear silos. Like,
wait, did you say his wife?
Yeah, my dad's not my mom, but he was remarried.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, yeah, he's on his third wife. Shout out to my dad. And
my dad had 3 wives too, man.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, bro.
I'm not judging it. I'm just it's cool. Why not? You go until you.
I mean, we can't control what our dads do. I mean, it's our dads. What are we gonna do?
Yeah. No, nothing.
They're out here doing their thing.
Yeah.
We're doing our thing.
They're doing their best.
They're doing their best.
If they're happy. But okay. So is she in danger or like? I mean,
she was scared. She was for sure getting like at the height of it, and she would call my father on WhatsApp, and my dad's like 70, so he's not really good at like being there like emotionally, like emotionally available. He would just kind of like say things that would just probably make it worse. He'd be like, you only die once, and she's like, what? and then he's just like, yeah, just don't worry. It's going to be, if it happens, you die, you won't even know. And then I just remember like, Dad,
you won't even know. It'll have to be a direct hit.
Yeah. and so that's I think that's how I became a comedian, just like with a dad like that just doesn't know how to comfort.
Oh, just really like matter of fact, but in a funny.
Yeah, he just doesn't have any type of there's no nuance or no like it's what you see is what you get with him. And again, it's like an old school generation of like he grew up seeing like probably the worst of it, like when they overthrew the king and when he they were just killing people, and so I guess he was like he saw that, and so I think like when you're around people that die or get killed, I think it kind of desensitizes you. Like these things happen. I think that was his like
totally. Don't worry. Like it really is like
what can you do? What can you control? Like you can't control it.
Control what you can control.
Yeah.
It sounds very logical, but when you think about
that's not what a woman wants.
It's comically horrible because like don't worry. You only die once.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. Yeah. It'll probably be fast.
Yeah. So it was a tough experience, I'm sure, for everyone back home. Most of my family is still there. I'm on my father's side, and man. I mean, I would love to go eventually one day, not like now, but like at some point. I remember like having opportunities to go and just like not. I regret it because I don't know when's a good time now, with the things that are happening, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Do you have a lot of family?
Yeah, I think we have a good amount. Family I've never even met.
That you've never met, that you could one day. Like
I could talk to them, family in both Iran and Bolivia, and it would be great to meet,
totally
see them and meet them.
One thing that I think sucks is just like and I'm speaking about myself when I say this, is like just the education level of most Americans, and I really do say this about I'm just like myself, it's like I should know, like I wish I knew more about different countries, because like Iran, do you pronounce it Iran or Iran?
Iran, but yeah.
So like Iran, it's like like anyone I've ever come across that has family or anyone I've ever met, it seems like great people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think that unfortunately, like the only thing most Americans know about Iran is like, it is not like, it's got negative connotations to it. You know what I mean?
Like I think it's like the media. I think they really do a really bad job of, but maybe, I'm sure it's done intentionally, just showing like the worst version.
Totally.
You know, it's always like the Death to America chants.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
it's always that.
But honestly, it's like I met, I was in Dubai like years and years and years ago, and at a water park met these Iranian dudes, and like had this guys. We were in line for like an hour. I had this great conversation with them, and they took pictures of us and with my wife, and it was like super nice guy. And I just remember thinking like these guys are like, not to say everybody.
Yeah, they're fun. No, Iranians are dope. They're fun. They're warm people, welcoming, funny, big personalities. Just very like hospitable. Like, you know, to a point where like it's excessive. Like, you know, when you go over, like it's built in the culture. You have to like be a good host. Like fruits, waters, like the whole, like whatever, like, you know, tea, you know, all types of nuts. It's just like it's like a whole thing. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I think culturally, maybe that's where I get a lot of like the venue stuff, like the hosting, the hospitality, the experience, the making you feel
wanting to share,
wanting you to feel welcome and a part of the group or whatever, and you know, having a good time, you know, I think is important. And so, yeah, man, it's a culture that should be more, I don't know, promoted in a better light. But
I think that's also, it's like we can say like the media, and I do think it's incumbent on the media to not sort of just like shade things the way that benefits them or the way they want to. But like, I think it is also like, I feel like if every individual, and I'll just speak for myself, it's like, no, it's on me. It's on me to like be more educated about things and never to be like, you know.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's important. I think, you know, you're doing a lot, man. You're running a venue. You got staff. You got, you know, you're a general.
General.
You only got so much. You only got so much time. You know, you can't. Don't beat yourself up, bro. I think it's, you know, I think everyone, you know, for the most part, you do what you can. Be a good, decent person. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like, honestly, like.
This is your dad speaking right now.
Yeah, honestly, I think maybe because I'm getting older. Yeah, I think as the older I get, it's like everyone's doing the best they can, bro. Because I meet people all over the country now, like touring, and just like everyone, for the most part, they're all really good people, like decent people.
I agree with you,
everyone's
man.
decent.
I agree with you.
I think really, like, you know, and we're living in a time where I think it's just the news makes us feel like, oh, everything is so bad.
It's true. It's the news, and also it's the way that we've all. The language that we speak with each other online. We've almost developed a second language where
it's a lot of trolling.
Where we think it's okay to troll. Like, honestly, I know people that, like, I speak to them, you know, it would never speak to them in a way that they speak online, or they never speak to me in a way that they would.
But we can't control what other people do, and that's why all you can control is your own actions and your own thoughts. And, like, that's kind of what I do for a living now is, like, kind of being like a beacon for like good energy and good vibes, and kind of like block out all that stuff. And when I'm on stage, just make people feel good, like let people like, it's like escapism, like so people can like literally like forget about their job, their problems, their like all the things they're dealing with on the outside, and just have a good time. And I think that is the key to my success, is just like making people feel joy. And honestly, I'm learning how to take that off stage and just bring it into like my daily life, because I'm like, dude, it's not worth it. I'm trying to build buildings. I don't got time for like engaging with a lot of this low vibration stuff. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah,
I feel you. It's almost like,
that's why like when you're beating yourself up and not knowing anybody around, I'm like, dude, it's fine. Yeah, like, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I only do that because I like.
As long as you're cool with me, like, you know, like you're cool to one Iranian dude. That's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, totally. No, you know? Maybe I shouldn't like, I don't know if it's like feigning self-deprecation or whatever. Maybe I shouldn't be that like that. But I guess the thing that I care about is the point of like, you know, I do think that if we can be more intelligent as a people and understand that it's more on each individual to like try to decision make in a way that's best for everyone, and that involves like, I'm not going to make any decision based off anything that I learn off the news about Iran.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Like I should be at least I should at least know, at the very least, hey, I hear that, but if I want to make a decision based off of that, I'm going to, or a choice, or maybe I'll help elect somebody that's based off of that, like with my vote, then I'm going to learn more. And I think that that's where it's like anyone can now, in this day and age, can like get access to some information, a lot of all of the information.
Yeah, being informed helps, I think. Just looking at things at face value, just being like a human about things, and like, just finding the things that we do have in common. I think like having conversations like this is like super positive, I think, and I think sometimes people look for differences, like when it doesn't, we don't have to also seek out like what separates us. Like we can, spend more time like what we have in common.
Yeah.
And I think like we have way more in common. That's one thing I got from traveling, like doing shows in Australia made me realize like, man, we're so similar.
Yeah.
Like it's just like because over there, like a lot of my audience is Middle Eastern and brown, and I was like, what are you guys doing here in Australia? But then I'm like, oh, there's everywhere you go, it's like there's communities everywhere, and
it's so fun, man. I mean, that message that you're spreading like that about just like, reminding people like everybody all across this world, poor to wealthy, at our core, it's simple, man. We just want to like live and enjoy each other, have a good time.
Yeah.
Fuck around, sometimes, but like we just want to have fun,
Yeah. No, that's what people want, and they need that, and I think it's important to you got to put that energy out there, and I think you get back what you want.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been very fortunate enough to have. Like when I go on stage, like there was a guy last night from like Bulgaria.
That's
this
right.
This guy was like, oh my God, like when in the meet and greet line, like he hugged me. I love you, And I feel like I called him like all types of names throughout the night. I went hard, but he loved it, man. And because I think he understood like the energy, the intention behind it. He watches my videos, so like he brought his friends. Like it was a big thing. I shouted him out. I gave him a T-shirt at the end, like. And he was in Cloud 9, and I think it was like, dude, I don't know anything about Bulgaria or anything about the community, but I don't beat him. As long as I treat him as a a regular person, I think that's all he wanted, and I think that's what.
No, but that moment was very like real, like authentic. Like after when you gave him the shirt, he like got up and came up, and you hadn't been easy on him throughout the night. You were making fun of Bulgarians, you were making fun of him, like you were. And then when he came up afterwards to get that T-shirt, you kind of like turned in a way, and you were like, "That dude is the shit."
Yeah.
You're like that dude is my man.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Like,
he's
awesome. And it was very authentic. It didn't seem like.
Yeah, it was great. I think it was just kind of like like you said, an authentic moment, and I really appreciate those types of moments because those are the moments I'm like, oh, that was cool. Like a Bulgarian dude who like couldn't speak English that well was like, "You're the best. I love you. Sign my shirt, please." I signed his shirt. Martin Amini, like he was wearing it, like it was like a shirt he came in with, and he just kind of like, I don't know, it was just kind of like it was very raw. And it felt very Chicago because I feel like there's probably a Bulgarian community here that I don't know about. That's like, this is where the Bulgarians ended up, you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, our Den's talent buyer, Julia Stoyanova, she's Bulgarian.
Okay,
shout out Julia.
Yeah, so there you go. Like, and that's the beauty of like going to different cities and throughout America. Like, there's different immigrants everywhere, and because I didn't, grew up here, there probably some jokes I could like develop just by like being around, and that's what I love. Like, I'll probably say a Bulgarian joke tonight. Just because I had that experience.
Right.
So it's really cool to just, like I said, have that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff, man. I mean, you really, like managed to weave in the straight up comedy, and you do that for the first part of your show, and then it gets into, the matchmaking thing, which I don't know if we talked about earlier. I almost can't remember now, but did we, like, how did that start?
Well, a lot of it was just inspired by my marriage. And so I went from, doing crowd work going viral with crowd work, kind of roasting people. And then my wife and I, started getting serious, and we got engaged and we got married. And so like I'm getting into this new chapter of my life with my marriage, and I see a lot of other comics are posting crowd work clips. So I'm like, how can I distinguish myself? So, and so that's when, we'd ask people like, how long you've been single for, how, you're in a relationship. And then finally it turned into like, come on stage and let's see if we can find you some love. And then we got this, the engagement of the audience kind of like chanting beso, which is Miss Kiss in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
so that just happened naturally?
Yeah. It started like, and once it started going viral, people now at every show chants beso.
I know. I was watching it last night. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah. And, and it kind of took on a life of its own. And
so it builds this like, I've seen other
it's
comedians
organic.
that have similar things, but totally different. And it's like this phenomenon where it's like it unites a community. It builds a community. It's almost like a group of people that are like, they're following you.
We're all on the same frequencies too. It's kind of crazy because we're all tapped in. Like if I call someone a name, everyone knows the vibes behind it. If I like, try to bring someone on stage, they know the intention behind it.
Yep.
They know we're not trying to just get like,
It's such a different experience than just a straight up comedy show where if you're just coming like, oh, honey, what should we do now? Let's go see a comedy show. You don't know what, it's like your audience is coming, most of them. And like you said, they know the drill kind of like.
Yeah, it's like reality TV. It's like these audience members become characters, and like it's the character wearing like the Burberry outfit, like who starts singing a song or like
totally.
It's like, what are these guys gonna do?
Yeah,
and then what inappropriate thing are they gonna say, or like what are they gonna? So it's really really cool. We're super like putting out the long form content has been really cool because people really watch it and invest in like the whole show.
Yeah, I noticed you've been doing that. So you literally just put the whole show out.
Yep, every city.
And it's like these new characters, like you were saying, like a reality show. It's like there's new characters.
People have printed out T-shirts of like previous like characters from the show that have gone viral. They're like, oh, look at this guy, Tortuga. Look at this guy, or like or Kiki, like the rehabilitated homie. Like they'll make their they have like fans. It takes on a life of its own.
It's so crazy to me that like you could have executives and offices like sitting around going, okay, how do we let's build a product here and a show, and we're gonna you couldn't have come up with a strategy that you kind of like organically
executed,
went into. And then from here, like, where do you think this goes? I mean, we're doing this weekend 1,800 tickets here at the total. Like, you're approaching, and I don't feel like there's a cap on that. Like, I honestly feel like we could have probably pushed to more.
Yeah.
And, I don't, like, can't really tell exactly where the end would have been, where it would have, like, teetered out, but you're approaching, like, a Chicago theater. Like, you're going to, you know what I mean? So, like, I mean, I know you've done stuff everywhere already, but, like once you get to that point where it's like, well, maybe one or two shows, like it's like...
Sure, yeah.
It's like, so... At the bigger theater, is that a goal of yours to keep growing this to that level?
I think as long as it feels authentic and organic, like I'm not like forcing it, or if I still enjoy it. I think the moment I stop enjoying it is the moment I need to like pivot.
Yeah,
I still enjoy like hooking people up, but I also like enjoy coming up with something that separates me from other people, and like how to constantly distinguish myself. Because I think we live in a timeline where it's like when people see something works, it's very it's easy to emulate, or like, oh, like this is what the algorithm is rewarding. Like, let me try this.
Yeah.
And so, you got to constantly push yourself as an artist to like not focus on ticket sales, but focus on like originality and like distinguishing yourself. So you're not kind of putting yourself in a box.
Yeah.
And I think
it's not following the herd is what you're saying. It's not following the algorithm. It's going, what is it going? It's going, what do I like? Mm-hmm. What keeps me inspired? And
what am I proud of?
Yeah.
I think that's probably something that gets overlooked because I think you can get caught up in, well, this is paying the bills, this is selling tickets, this is what's getting me recognition in the industry, this is what's getting me opportunities, but am I proud of it? You know, is this something that I want to be out there? You know, and because it's very hard to backtrack once you open that box. Like once you kind of go through that door, it's like this is what you're spending your years on. You're you know, and that's why for me it's like I don't need to scale so much because I rather put my energy and money into the venue and go back to just doing regular spots like a comic and just developing, you know, a new hour that I'm proud of and touring that, you know. I'm very happy to do that because I feel like I've got the best out of touring. I've been fortunate enough to perform in venues 15, 20,000 seats, opening for my friend Matt Rife. You know, we did the Hollywood Bowl, we did Red Rocks. Like, I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling. I would
can imagine the energy in there is just
yeah, I just would love to go back like on my own terms where I'm just like I'm doing an hour of what I like to do.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. It could be matchmaking. It could be 60 minutes of traditional stand up, or it could be another hybrid of like stand up in some other format that I've just, you know, created. And so as long as it's coming from a place of like, oh, this feels fresh. I think that's what it comes down to. It has to feel fresh. Like I don't want things to feel. It's like that feeling of telling a joke that you've done for way too many years, and it's just like it doesn't. I don't even like doing it, or it's like it doesn't really feel that good.
Yeah. There's a there's a level of like honor, respect in doing things that way because you take a risk by doing that, right? It's
100%.
You may be missing out on like something or you may not be as successful if you go the route of like what's fresh to you.
Yeah.
You know, but it's
I have enough content out there and stuff and material, and I've done enough cities where my name is out there, but now I have to like, all right, like it's out there now. People have met me for the first time. But now what? You know, like what's next? And so that's and just trying to like not get pulled into the like, all right, like round like the next tour, like let's, you know, because I have so many friends that are doing it.
Yeah,
I have all my friends are doing it, and I love them all. And I'm so happy for them. But I'm like, bro, like enough's enough for me. I've been on tour for 3 years. Like, what do I have to like, you know?
Yeah.
What do I have to prove? Like, there's nothing left to prove. Like,
well, I suppose it's like if you say like, if it's still fresh, if like this, you know, the path that you're going down with the matchmaking, which you're super skilled at, dude. You're like,
it's fun, it's great. No, and
that's a whole separate skill.
That's a great skill
comedy.
set. It's a great skill set. It was a great like it's a great moment. It's like a time capsule in time, you know. And I think like using that as a vehicle to introduce myself to so many people, I think is very positive. I think I'm proud of that.
Yeah,
but using it to like sell more tickets or just because I can, I think is like where it gets tricky. And it's like, all right, well, maybe let's pump the brakes and let's just like finish the tour. Let's come up with something new. And then like, there's so many new avenues now that I'm interested in exploring, like different types of content, long form conversations, honestly, like just more like things that make me happier. Like I'll probably like leave this conversation like that was fun. That was cool. It was like very, I feel like we addressed a lot of different topics that I don't get to talk about a lot. And there's not a lot of digital footprint of me talking about these things at all that I care about way more than, again, like so much is designed for selling tickets that it's like making me sick. I'm like, bro, like that's not, now you're just trying to say words that are just like buzzwords. And I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah, I hear you. It's almost like, how do you avoid just like, how do you almost have to spend energy blocking that off, you know, like well,
it's designed like that. Like your agent or management, everyone's like, you got to get bigger, you got to get because like, I'm lucky I don't have
their incentive is to make more money. And
I don't have a manager anymore because I just didn't want that, you know, for a lot of different reasons, but I don't have that responsibility. If someone's tied to 10% of what you're, you know, selling, then there's going to be a lot of pressure, external forces of like, you got to get bigger.
Yeah.
Otherwise, my 10%'s not coming.
Right. Some people need that. Some people need that to write. They need someone calling them up and be like, "Hey, I got this opportunity for you at this venue. You gotta bring some new stuff. Like, hey, start writing. Like, hey, you're slacking a little." Some people actually may need that, but someone like you, it looks like. I mean, like that could actually work against you.
I think so. You know? I think unless someone can bring ideas and fresh like innovation, which I think is tough for managers right now because things have changed so much in the past 5-10 years of like now everything's done through social media and like having a platform in your own audience that like like unless you're like editing clips or like doing something like that, like what are you doing? You know? It's like there's not a lot of platforms anymore that can like help. You have to kind of just do it yourself. So that's the biggest I think difference since I started. It's just completely different from when it's only been 12, 13 years, but it's like, it's unrecognizable.
It's almost unrecognizable from 5-6 years ago. I feel like the whole, like, the pandemic kind of like,
completely different. Completely.
Totally,
I mean, it's
changed. So
totally. And those who could adapt fast.
It's adaptation, right?
On tour. And then like those who know how to pivot.
Yeah.
And, I think I've benefited from that, but, and there's a new crop of like a generation of comics that are just young.
Yeah.
They're just like, this is all we know. So there's no shame.
Totally. Are you using technologies moving so fast? Are you riding out? Are you going, I got to start using this? Are you using it? Like, are you using ChatGPT?
Yep.
Like,
I love chat. I think chat's become a great tool. It's like my smart friend, like, hey chat, what's your thoughts on this chat? Totally. Like, it's great. I was asking my Tony, my camera guy, if he's scared of AI yet, and he goes, not yet. I go, why not? He goes, well, I don't think it hasn't really figured out everything. I go, well, I guess it depends on what questions you're asking it, right? Because I go, people are now going to spend more time figuring out how to ask it questions than learn the actual thing. That's kind of a crazy switch. Not seeking out information for yourself, but learning how to ask how to get that information. Because there's a talent, there's probably a skill set in like, what are you asking? Are you asking the right question?
Totally. That'll be the most, at least in the very near future, that'll be the most powerful skill set.
I could see that being a class.
Yeah.
Just like how to,
I'm sure it already is.
How to get the most out of, chat.
I'm sure it already is, man.
Yeah.
That's absolutely. I mean, I'm already thinking like that. I mean, I'm just like, gotta learn this, gotta acclimate, gotta like, think about it and choose to think about it positively. Like, I think it's a choice for me, at least, where it's like, I could look at this and just go, oh man, we're cooked. Like, this is going to end badly, but I think I would rather go, all right, that's possible. Let me put that like here. And now I'm going to be like, no, we're going to align with this. We're going to.
Yeah. I don't know where it takes us, but I mean, I think like, we don't have to worry about it for a couple of generations. But I think
You think it'll be that long? A couple generations before it really starts?
No, we'll definitely see some stuff in our generation, but I'm talking Terminator 2.
Oh, yeah.
That's that'll be I don't know.
Probably. Yeah.
A couple generations, I think.
Yeah.
But
it's there. You're saying it like it's kind of a definitive.
I think it's definitely there.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
How it was not even like, it's not, people aren't even like, are you insane for saying that? It's just sort of like, nah, I mean.
No, you saw what happened the other day on Twitter, right? Like with Grok, what it did?
No.
It just kind of like, it just turned into like this anti-Semitic. It just started saying anti-Semitic stuff. You didn't see that? It was like 3 days ago. It was just like. And
I think I heard about it, but I didn't look into it too much.
It's just kind of like, it's just an example of like, we don't have that much control.
Yeah.
Like over like, we think we do, and then it's like, it just kind of goes off the rails.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's already happening now. I mean.
Right.
There's all these examples of like, it not being able to turn itself off, like refusing to turn itself off. Or
I think the real danger comes when like everything is integrated, right? When it's like everything, like every building, every phone, every car, everything is integrated. Then you have no way to turn it off, right? You have no, and then it's just like, we hope all the like checks and balances stay in place. Hope nothing can be like, because if you're home, like let's say you can't whatever, or your car door. You can't even get out of your car. You get like if everything's integrated, then there's no fail safe. That might be 10, 15, 20 years
so.
before.
I think we're good.
Like, we got a little.
My
time.
venue will be done by.
Yeah, it'll be done. You'll have had a great community.
Yeah.
Man, it's been good talking to you, man.
Dang, likewise, man. We got 2 shows tonight.
Yeah.
1 show tomorrow. So I gotta go get ready a little bit.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sitting down and talking.
Thank you, man.
It's been fun. And
thanks for hosting me. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for doing this here.
Thank you for
I hope you'll come back, even though you won't need to, because you could do.
No, this is gonna be a new staple for me. I think like just to work on stuff and like definitely I think this is the best experience my crowd has had with me in Chicago. Not to talk down on any other venue, but I think like venues are very important for me because it's how my audience sees me and it's how they're introduced to me in a lot of cases. It's a lot of people see me for the first time this weekend, even though I've been here, 4 or 5 times already. And so see me obviously in the best light possible, see me in the most optimal, space and experience is like key to me because that's what I want people to remember me from these shows. Hopefully not from the other shows, I'm like, but this is the weekend to see me, So thank you again for
love hearing that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, bro.
It's been great. Well, where can people find you?
Just martinamini.com. That's my website. We're on tour until next January, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Martin.
It's
been a pleasure.
Thank you, big dog.